Martin needed a little bit of roadside assistance himself today after a very scary incident on pit road. We're glad to say that Mark was okay, but he had the pole-sitting car and a legitimate shot at winning this. But let's take a look, fellas, at what happened to the 55 here, starting out with what happened on the track.
Well, as you can see, the 47, Bobby Labonte gets loose. Kyle, Larry, this is the most unique wreck I've ever seen.
Yeah, very, very scary situation. Not only for Mark Martin, but all those crew members there, especially in Kasey Kahne's pits.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Mark used to drive that 5 car? So he crashed right there. Probably some of those same guys there. But it was a scary, scary wreck for guys on pit road. Fire extinguisher quickly. Fire extinguisher quickly.
And that was crew chief Chad Knaus, very much under control, calm, cool, and collected as usual. He wanted that fire extinguisher out there very quickly, and that's exactly what happened. The guys from Kasey Kahne's team came over, and that is our Good Sam roadside assistance assist of the day. How quickly the Hendrick teammates came to the assistance of Mark Martin in his Michael Waltrip Racing cars. We take a look at him coming to help Mark Martin get him out of the car and put out the fire in a hurry. That is teamwork, and that is the assist of the day. So, man, first of all, we got to say that was a very freak incident that happened that way.
Yes.
And second of all, we got to say, how fortunate was it that the back part of that, the wall went into a farther back part of the car than that cockpit?
I cannot dare start to explain how ugly this could have been. Larry, when you look at this wreck, the wall hits Mark Martin behind his seat maybe 6 inches. If Mark, okay, let's watch. Here we go. If the wall hits 6 inches further forward, it will hit Mark Martin's seat. Oh, my. That is scary, Kyle.
Yeah, we have to have openings in pit road for the cars to get in and out of the garage area, but maybe this is a time to look at the location of the openings. But, Kenny is spot on. And you just feel so bad for Mark Martin in so many ways. He sat on the pole. He led 54 of the first 63 laps. The only laps he didn't lead in those first 64 was cycling through green flag pit stops, and it just seems like poor old Mark cannot buy a break. He's got fast race cars.
Well, for more on one of the scarier wrecks we've seen in a couple weeks, let's go to Bob Dillner.
And I got a chance to take a look at that 55 car after it came off the racetrack, and man, that took some abuse. Crushed the center section, like Kenny Wallace was saying, right behind the driver's seat. And then it also ripped the rear end housing out of the car as well. So a lot of damage, but it did its job. Now, a lot of speculation that Juan Pablo Montoya might have caused that wreck when he took the air off of the 47. Well, Juan Pablo Montoya called to the NASCAR rig after this race. He went in there when he came out. He did not have any comment whatsoever, but it was one of those incidents that really took your breath, especially if you were Mark Martin.
The pit wall hole or opening came so late I didn't have much time to even think about it. Prior to seeing that opening, my biggest deal was trying to stay off of that inside wall so that I could still have a race car to challenge, and try to win the race. Had we not tore the car up in that accident, we still had a car that could contend, and it's unfortunate. I fought it with everything I had, but with where I came from and the speed that I came from, it was in the confines of pit road. It was just, I couldn't miss it.
As you guys mentioned, it was very scary for the Kasey Kahne team as well. And Ben Fishbeck, who is the rear tire carrier for that team, actually did get injured. He was the guy that you saw running away in that pit stall, trying to get away from the tires that were going in the air. And he got hit in the thumb, just jammed his thumb a little bit. I spoke to him after the race. He said he's A-okay, but it's something that he never wants to relive ever again.
I can imagine that, Bob. There's definitely a scary incident. Fortunately, everybody is okay after that, including Mark Martin. But, man, Kyle, when you look at that as a driver, it's got to make you cringe.
Yeah, I think it does in a lot of ways. And Bob mentioned Juan. Juan had nothing to do with that accident. He was racing the 47 hard. 47 got loose, spun around. These guys run into each other. I think NASCAR will take a look at the end of the pit wall. I don't think you can change all these openings. We've got to have openings to go in and out of the garage area. But I think when you look at it, that opening just happens to be way down towards turn 4. There's not that inside wall. You can't take it out any farther. The wall between the racetrack and pit road. And when you look at it, that's just a scary thing. Very freakish. Guy spins 15 feet farther down the racetrack. You don't have that at all. But Mark Martin was incredibly lucky, and so were those team members.